The art of manipulation. Sounds very bad and evil, right? The word manipulation has been associated with negative connotations for a long while. But today, I am going to try and change your perspective of it. Firstly, I would like you guys to raise your hands if you have ever felt manipulated in your life. Those are quite a few hands, and you guys know exactly what I am talking about. And for those of you who didn't raise your hands, let me break it to you that you are being manipulated every single day in your life. Now the next question coming into our feeble little human minds would be how? You guys must have seen these. These are the perfect example of mass media manipulation. They choose a specific group of audiences known as target audience and manipulate them into believing the ideas which these things are expressing. And if you still believe that you have never been manipulated, let me tell you that manipulation is so thoroughly woven into our lives that it is extremely easy to miss. Enough about this talk of mass media manipulation as such. Let's talk about people. Maybe that would be more relatable. For instance, I used to have this friend of mine who everyone warned me about, but I just didn't listen. Turns out that she was actually manipulating me into completing her assignments and help her copy in class tests. As soon as I realized it, I broke off my bonds with her. But it was already too late and the harm was already done. Now I don't believe there is any need to explain how being manipulated feels like. Being manipulated does not make you the bad person or the manipulator the bad person, because everyone has certain requirements to meet in their life and manipulators choose manipulation well. Now, I am going to share my journey from how I became someone who was manipulated constantly to harnessing the power of manipulation for my positive growth. P.S. I am not a bad person. Firstly, I would like to talk about the kind of people which most manipulators target. The first trait is people who have low self-esteem. We are going to say everyone has low self-esteem and such. But trust me, if you have low confidence in yourself, it is very easy to use against you. Having low self-confidence equates to low self-esteem, which means you view yourself as someone who is incapable of doing a lot of things and tend to give up very easily. This, my friends, is Maslow's hierarchy of needs in order to achieve fulfillment in life. You see on the second number, we have self-esteem, which is the confidence which a lot of us lack, which is exactly my point. Even in order to achieve fulfillment in life, we need to have a higher self-esteem. And hence, to avoid manipulators, you need to gain confidence in yourself. Slowly start accepting yourself as you are and slowly start gaining confidence. Manipulators would go around saying things like, oh, that's so bad, this happened to you, better luck next time, and things like that. Because they tend to stand back and enjoy the show as you degrade yourself, as they fuel this all up with their fake, hollow, sympathetic, fancy words. Because they know if they do this, you are going to go back running to them every day. Coming up next is the trait which you need to absolutely get rid of, which is not being able to say no or not being able to set boundaries. You think it's alright for people to have an astute mindset about you, to use you and leave your weaknesses out there for everyone to witness. Manipulators know this very well and they will target you because they know that you have this self-induced mindset that if you say yes, you'll be a good person, and if you say no, you'll automatically become a bad person. Moving on, what I mean to say is that life has taught us a lot of lessons, and the ability to say no is one of them. So learn it and use it, because the word is not just going to sit idly in the dictionary. You will have to use it. As soon as I realized that I was completely filled to the top with these two traits, I slowly started to get rid of them and abandon myself, which was manipulated, in order to become the manipulator. Have you ever thought that manipulation could have positive effects? A lot of you wouldn't have. But harnessing the power of positive manipulation would lead you to have more control over your own life and gain the confidence which you might have lacked. In fact, we are all manipulators. Parents influencing their children, teacher influencing their students, speaker and a listener. Even the dresses we wear every single day are in order to manipulate other people's opinion about us. Going to the dictionary definition of to manipulate, to control and assess a situation and control it skillfully. I don't see any negative word here. In fact, we have skillful, which is very positive. All the negative associations are just in our mindset regarding manipulation. So the first and foremost step in order to become a manipulator is to learn to control and manipulate your own emotions. You need to know exactly when you have to cry, exactly when you have to show your anger, and exactly when you have to show your love. In life, because this thing we call life is just a game where the end goal is death for everyone. What matters is how many points we have earned, not how we have earned them. So if a person is sharing a sad story about their life, no matter how much you want to ignore it or how much you want to laugh upon it, you just cannot. You will have to show them sympathy in order to gain positive points in their life. At the end of the day, we all are humans. We all have an emotional quotient and we all require sympathy at some point in our lives. Further, I would like to divide manipulation into two parts. Persuasion, or more infamously known as the good one. Coercion, more infamously known as the bad one. I would like to further explain both of these with an example of a TV show. We have a protagonist. He or she wants to gain vengeance on someone. So they are naturally going to recruit people who have a common goal as them and manipulate them into achieving the things which they want and not harm them emotionally. This was persuasion, the positive manipulation. Next, we have coercion, which is the opposite. We emotionally manipulate people. The antagonist, for example, takes the people which the protagonist loves and manipulates them emotionally in order to gain the goal which they want. Hence, the negative manipulation. Next up, we have the manipulation matrix. This is mainly used in businesses, but I am going to change it a little bit in our context. First up, we will change the user as to a person, otherwise it's going to sound extremely wrong. We will look at the facilitator first. In our case, it is the manipulator or the good manipulator, because they tend to ask themselves the question, if I went ahead with this, would the other person feel bad? If I was in this person's place, would I feel so bad that I would commit things which I would not want to, and such. In an ideal world, every one of us would be a facilitator, because a facilitator is a person who offers goods or services by using it themselves first, and it will improve other people's life. But in reality, it is not the case. Everyone can claim to be a facilitator. But in my opinion, the best kind of manipulators are the people who have gone through manipulation themselves. Next up is the peddler, the person we are manipulating, and they're a nice kind to manipulate because they ask themselves the question, if this person went ahead with their manipulation, would I feel bad? Yes. But would this benefit me? So would I go along with it? Yes. They know that the manipulation is going to benefit them and go along with it. Hence, this is a positive manipulation. Next up, and the most common kind of manipulators you may find in daily life, the entertainers. These are the kind of manipulators which do manipulation just for the sake of it. They enjoy seeing other people in misery. They like to have fun with their emotions and so on. So these are the kinds which everyone would have to avoid on the daily basis with the traits I told you to get rid of. And lastly, we have the dealers. The person who are the most and unaffected by the manipulation matrix because they just don't care. If a person is going through a manipulation, would they stop it? Probably not. Are they involved in the manipulation? No. Hence, making them the person who are the most unaffected by it. It is up to you if you want to become the angel or the devil. And jokes upon you guys, I was manipulating you by my opinions through this whole talk. Now I told you the manipulation matrix. It is up to you in which category you fit in or break through it to make your own. Thank you.